All right, so Donald Miller says that you should charge your clients about $10,000 to help them create a weekly routine. And I would agree that it's probably worth at least that for a lot of people. So why is it so important? Well, as humans, we need systems, and even the least systemy people need systems. So if you think about a bee that flies around and smells flowers all day, in the end, it's actually part of a system. It goes from the hive, goes out to the nearest flower, scoops up the nectar, and then gets back to the hive and gets rid of the pollen and repeats. Even to communicate, they have a very systematized dance that's how they communicate with each other. So think about the fact that these bees get to go and smell flowers all day, but but really they're part of a system, a daily routine, a routine. What they do over and over again just becomes autopilot. So we think of a daily routine in the same way. You can literally be smelling all flowers all day if that's part of your job, or um, if you want to add that to your daily routine, but you need a system so that you can create consistent results and not have to stress about what to do next constantly. Um, and a bee produces some serious results. It takes 2 million flower visits to produce 1 pound of honey. So that's pretty crazy. So consistency is the key and dedication. Um, so anyways, the point of all this is that I don't want you to be just a robot that just feels like you have to, if you have a system, even that word or like a routine can feel like robot-y. So this can be for anyone. My wife is the least robot-y person, but she's really outgoing and fun. Unlike me a lot of the time, but she can't really like she loves having that routine that really gets her progress throughout the day and she can feel that she's getting stuff done and has a task list and routine for her day and she gets um, through a lot more that way with a lot less stress. So today we're going to learn 5 parts that you need in your daily routine. We're going to give you some bonus stuff about what you can add to your routine, the difference between a daily and a weekly routine, what to consider in terms of energy levels with your daily routine, and how to make a custom daily routine that works for you. And then I have some bonus tips at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, the 5 parts you need to have in your daily routine. The first one is processing. So processing just means making decisions on incoming communication. So you think about your email, your chat. If you're a software person, there's like Salesforce or there's all these different apps that might have notifications. If you can have all those go to your email, so you just have one inbox, the least amount of inboxes, the better. Technically, an inbox is anywhere where an external communication comes in that you need to process. So say you don't have Salesforce, which is a piece of software, say that's you're getting notifications from that, but it's not forwarding to your email. Technically, you have an inbox in Salesforce then because you have to go process things and make decisions. So the first part is process, and I have a guide that has gotten people a lot of clarity on their day and given them even a few hours back. It's the same system that I use to get 6 hours back a day and triple the clients. So it's because especially for me, my job was very communication heavy, but even those like developers who are more task oriented in their roles, they've gotten like 2 hours back a day. So definitely feel free to check out that free guide. It's at timesmith.work/guide. But it'll give you the 5 parts to the daily routine and it'll break down how to actually like process your email quickly. And it gives you the 3 lists that you need to be able to process your email in an effective way without things falling through the cracks. Because what most of us do is we just process email and chat all throughout the day and we leave a lot of stuff undone because it's not quite important enough right now. Um, so sorry about that. I need to turn off my notifications. See? Wow, that was funny because literally right now I am on a podcast and I'm actively triaging notifications, which is what I teach you not to do. So there you go. Even the teacher is not perfect in this. So processing, you're gonna get through all of your chat and email at some point in the day. That's part of your daily routine you'll want. Another part is organizing yourself, so having lists and keeping those up to date. Another part of your daily routine is obviously going to be work. And this is where you can kind of start to see a difference between daily and weekly routine. For the work is just getting real things done, not like little communications here and there, but like sitting down and focusing on something and thinking through it. This is often the hardest part of our jobs. This is the stuff we kind of push off because it's just like pushes us. We're not quite sure how to do it. Or it could be actually that it's like the stuff that you really like to do, but you need to get through the processing stuff to get there. Either way, this is where you're like sitting down and focused, turn off notifications so you're not being barraged by email and chat while you try to focus on this work. But that's going to be part of your daily routine is literally just baking in and thinking through work. So get through all your processing, get through all your organizing, and then work. And so what you can do with work is divide it into weekly and daily sort of work. So there might be projects that are maintenance at this point, and they might just need you to do something about them once a week. So at that point, you might have 5 of those projects, and now you have a daily routine where you just every day after you get done organizing your list, maybe you do one of those maintenance things. And then on Monday, you maintain one project. On Tuesday, you maintain another thing. On Wednesday, maybe it's like if you're a business owner, maybe it's like bookkeeping, it's billing, it's checking on the bank account. Maybe it's payroll, something like it's only once a week, and then now you have 5. Um, if you have 5 once a week things, then each day just do in your daily routine, do that. And something I've been remiss in describing is that a daily routine is just once you get to work, what do you do? And I'm arguing that a routine is like you do the same thing first every day. Then after you're done with that thing, you do the next thing. Then after you're done with that, you do the next thing. And if you just have a routine where you consistently get to things, then it'll give you progress. You won't have to make decisions on the best thing to do next because it's really hard to figure that out. And so that's where we're at now. We're at the third thing, which is working. And you can, again, download my guide. It'll show you the power routine that I recommend. Um, timesmith.work/guide. But you need to work. And then there's other projects where it's like the current project, and you're going to need to work on that every day. And so that should be in your daily routine too. One of my students, what he does is he actually does deep focused work first because a lot of his colleagues, he's in Eastern time, but a lot of his colleagues are on Pacific time. And so he work for his routine, the first thing he does is he gets in and just works on really focused tasks that take a lot of energy and a lot of thinking. Once his um, colleagues clock in, that's when he processes all of his email and chat and organizes himself. And then he works again, but once his second work um, item for his daily routine, so he goes, is less energy, like not intense stuff, like stuff that he can be kind of interrupted in, maybe more like admin and upkeep sort of stuff. So he'll do really focused development, process his email and chat, organize his lists, and then he'll work on like admin, easy stuff that he can be interrupted during, and then he'll do the other parts of the daily routine that I also recommend. So when I was a success manager, what this looked like for me is processing was a huge part of my job. So that would take like an hour. Organizing my list would take maybe 15 minutes, and then I would just give myself one thing to do each day. And after that I was done, which is kind of crazy to think about, but if you just do one main thing a day, I made way more progress than just putting out little fires of chat and email all day. So one real thing, like I would plan a strategy for a customer, or I would map out a consultation, something that really takes a lot of effort and focus. And then I would let myself be done. That was just to get the routine going, making it easy on myself to have a routine. That's one of the tips is not to overload yourself with too much stuff to do in your routine. And then you'll get overexcited and then um, you won't actually get any of that stuff done. And then the next part of the routine is once you're done with working on one thing, or you can give yourself 2 hours, whatever you want for that work phase. But more than 2 hours, you'll probably be on fumes. But if you want to just keep going, that's fine too. But after you're done with your work phase of your power routine, and you're making it easier on yourself, you're checking things off your list. My course goes over this more in more depth, but um, then you can add more in. So like say you just get one real task done a day, and then after you do that for a while and you make it a habit, this daily routine, then you can maybe add 2 tasks and three or something like that. And you're going to be crazy productive compared to your colleagues. I can promise you that. And then you go to, after you're done with the work phase, go to engage, which is just remember that we're human beings that need to be engaged with other human beings. So this is where meetings come in, like engage. So have time and slots for meetings. If you're in the office or at co-work space, just give yourself some extra time to go talk with people and just be around people, introvert or extrovert. This is just good for you as a person and you'll grow in relationships. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be if you're introverted and you see somebody getting coffee, you could just mention the weather. I know it sounds lame, but just everybody cares about the weather. It seems annoying to talk about like how it's nice weather out or man, it's raining out. But like it affects everybody and everybody cares. So just, take a little bit of time to talk with people and think of that as an important part of your day. And then the last part of your daily routine, which is the R in my power routine, is to review. So you just look back at what you've accomplished for the day. And that's it. That's the 5 parts to your daily routine. All right, some bonus stuff. So the cool thing about a daily routine is like it's like spinning plates. Like um you you get one plate up and once you get it spinning, you can put more and more plates. So get a core, like create a daily routine and get a core daily routine going, and then you can add more things. So I had a client who wanted to read business books and wanted to work out. So just added that into his daily routine. After his work phase, his brain was really used up, so he'd go work out. Very first thing he did was read a business book for a half hour a day, and then he could get into processing. So you can see how adding more things into your day. I like, and this will get into point three, which is the difference between a daily and a weekly routine. But I like to use Friday afternoons. I'm not great at it, but I like to use that just as at least once a month. I should probably just put on my calendar for once a month, but once a month stuff doesn't really work for me. I feel like I need a monthly or a weekly slot for planning. Um, and I'd say like most of us should just have half a day a week for planning, like just thinking through your family, thinking through um, like your own life, your own spiritual walk with God, your own career progression, what you're learning, what you're doing, maybe at least an hour or two a week. I like to do Friday afternoons when I've already like gotten through my work for the week. Um, and get in like a nature place and just plan out plan out like business stuff and family stuff and think about where my kids are at in our relationship and what they need to do next and plan for a trip or plan for a fun thing to do. Even like 5 minutes here will give you a lot of intentional ideas for what to do with your kids. Like for us, it was just putting a tent up and um, well, during the solar eclipse, or we're going to camp soon just in our backyard. So those sorts of ideas just come when I'm planning. So that's another thing you can add is just planning for your employees or planning for different projects, or maybe you add time in your daily slash weekly routine for learning a new skill. All that stuff you can add to your daily routine, but just don't overdo it at first. So then the difference between a daily and a weekly routine is that I would say like in a daily routine, you want to have the exact same slots every day. So like for me, there's a list I recommend that you use, which is a waiting list. Um, it's where you're waiting on somebody else to respond to you. I would put that, I only looked at that list and followed up with people on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But every single day I looked at my lists, not waiting lists, but like I had a slot. So like on my first thing I would do is process all my email and chat. And the second thing I'd do is I'd look at my lists. And that sometimes that would include the waiting list. Sometimes it would only be like my task list, or my meeting list. So what I'm trying to say is like every day I have a slot to look at my waiting list, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays I use it. So for a weekly routine, like I alluded to earlier, some maybe you have a slot for like a maintenance or an admin task thing, and maybe you have 5 admin tasks that you need to keep up on. So every day you have a slot for admin, but every on a weekly basis it rotates what actual admin task you're maintaining, if that makes sense. Um, all right, I think moving on to point 4. So considering energy levels with your daily routine. So I think I often think of like Charles Darwin, who I think he did like 90 minutes of writing, like an hour of like admin, 90 minutes of writing, an hour of admin, and like a meal. I think he did 3 sessions of like an hour or 90 minutes of like writing. And why I mentioned writing is because that's like a high energy, high focus. You want to be your best when you're doing whatever that thing is. Right now with starting businesses, I kind of am going like all day. But I think I need to take a rest in the afternoon a little bit. Sometimes I think that just happens naturally. So what I'm trying to say is I don't think you can go just like all day 100%. There's ebbs and flows to your day, and it's your circadian rhythm does some of that too. There's a cool app if you want to download it called Rise, and it tells you your sleep debt, and it teaches you a lot about sleep, which is something that has always stuck with me. Even though they don't have a monthly plan, so I never bought it because they only wanted to do the annual plan. But it also shows you like your circadian rhythm in real time during the day. So you can kind of see like where you're down and when you're up, and like in the afternoon or something, maybe your cells are getting repaired, or maybe you're an afternoon person and you really get a lot done then. But think about like when is it that for me at least in the morning, I'm definitely like going hard and doing the best. Um, so I lost my train of thought, but basically think about your energy levels for the day. That work phase should really be during like your crispest time. The problem with putting that first is that a lot of times we don't have the diligence to then get to processing email and chat and getting that all the way to zero. And that's going to give you a lot of relief in stress and anxiety, is just getting all of those decisions made all the way to zero and all that stuff. And so that's why I recommend doing it first, is because you just get it over with. Potentially doing a system like my friend does where he works on intense focus stuff and then processes and then works again. But all that to say, what do you do in the afternoon versus the morning? Like meetings, maybe they should be in the afternoon if that's when you have lower energy. So just thinking through what activities do you want to put when? Maybe you have a really big dip in the afternoon and that's just like a good time to work out or go on a walk or pray or something like that. So think through your energy levels and don't be mad at yourself that you're a little bit like groggy or slow at some points of the day. That's natural for all of us. All right. So point number 5 is how to make a custom daily routine that works for you. So I might regret this, but go ahead and email me if you want a free resource that I've made. So basically all it is it's a week, like a printout of a week. And I just suggest you print that however you want to print it. You can mark it up on your computer, I guess, if you want. But it's just a printout. And what you do with it is it has like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And you can like box in and it has like hours on one side, day of the week on each column. And then you just box in what you want your daily routine to look like each day. So This is like a super helpful exercise to just go through. I did it often when I was really getting efficient as a customer success manager. I don't think you really like look at it again or keep it with you. I mean, you definitely can like keep it posted up and look at it. Another thing you can do is create a new calendar like on your Mac calendar, or if you have a PC, in like Outlook or something, create a calendar, just like a new one that's just for you to see. And you can just play around with how long each part of your daily routine that you want to be. So like if you want to work out, put that for an hour at 1 o'clock or whatever each day. And then your week will fill in with your daily things that you're doing. So like if you have an admin slot where you're just maintaining certain projects, like maybe that's noon to one, you just have like admin, bookkeeping, admin, metrics, admin, tax. I don't know, whatever the five things are. Put that in that slot, and then basically you fill out a whole day. I like to just write it out. So that's how I'm happy to send you that PDF I have where you can print it out and then just write what you want for your daily routine. So yeah, check that out. Feel free to email me and I'll get you on my email list as well. And I'll send you that, which you can unsubscribe from anytime, obviously. And I'll get you um, that resource. I've used this with my clients and it's been super helpful. If you just take an hour and write down what you want your routine to look like. Um, Even just doing it that one time and writing it out helps so much. Even if you never look at it again, it's kind of like in the back of your mind. And you'll definitely have tweaks and things won't go perfectly with what you planned for it to be, but it gives you that like ideal that you can strive for and just have in the back of your mind. And it also gives you an out when a good opportunity comes, but not a great one that doesn't really fit in with what you're currently pursuing. Um, it's easier to say no or to say, yeah, I'll get to that like on Friday when I maintain taxes. Like I'll look at that. So um, stuff like that, it can be really helpful for as well. All right, that's all for this podcast episode. Hope that helps you guys. Really, the idea here with the $10,000 daily routine is get all the stressors and all the goals, both the good and the bad, put them in a system in your daily routine. Like our friend the bee that goes to the flower. They need to get to the flower. They need to get the pollen off. They need to communicate and dance around to talk to their fellow bees. And so they have a routine for that. They have what they do first and then next. They don't wake up and say, is today a day when I need to communicate, or is today a day when I go to that flower or that flower or that flower? They just go and they do it every day, and they do it in the same order, and it works out for them. So this can work out for you too if you just um, create a daily routine. You can add everything you want to get done, everything you need to get done, and some sort of plan for all those things that stress you out, like email and those sorts of things. Um, you can put it in your daily routine and maintain it instead of everything just compounding on itself, getting overloaded with it, and getting stressed out. Also, this helps you get to those important tasks that are not urgent, which is so difficult for so many of us. If you set aside specific time for those important things you need to do and then stick to it, then um, you'll make real progress in those areas as well. This has helped me, as I've said, and my other students, and it's probably the biggest thing that you can do to really manage your time well. And then just getting good at the different skills like email processing or different things like that come as well. But if you get a good daily routine in place and then just tweak it as you go and pivot if you need to, but try to stick with it as best you can as well, then you're going to make a lot of progress and this can be a really awesome tool for you. Um, and then obviously I do want to help you. So check out my guide, timesmith.work/guide. And it's going to give you like 2 pages, really boiled down of exactly how to process email and chat and the 3 lists you need, tips on meetings, and it'll basically give you a system for your day that you can go from there and do awesome things with. All right, until next time, Time Smith out.